And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of the Masters Coliseum Qualifiers. Number 6, of course, the NA Qualifier. Oh boy, I'm of course your host, Light VIP, and with me I'm joined by the lovely and beautiful people in the chat. Welcome all of you. This fine Australian Friday morning. Good morning. Good morning, and oh boy, we have quite an interesting bracket before us. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. Of course, this is the qualifier for the Masters Coliseum. This is a major event that's about to begin in a couple of weeks, hosted by the WTL admins by SC Boy, the people behind World Team League, the people behind Kung Fu Cup. It's a pretty big event, $40,000 on the line in that main event, and due to the performances of the players in all these events like Kung Fu Cup, like World Team League, there have been a lot of invited players, but on top of that, we have a couple of qualifying spots available as well. We already casted the Asia qualifier, the Korean qualifier, the European qualifier. There are two qualifiers left. There's the NA as well as the global qualifier, which is open to all regions, which would be the last chance that everyone has to make it into the main event. And yeah, we can take this moment. Oh, we're about to begin. Take this moment to go over the bracket. There aren't too many players here. When it comes to the notable players in this qualifier, it's going to be Scarlett, Future, Estrella, and Trigger. 4 players in total. And amongst those 4 players, only one will advance. Only one will qualify. And we have 2 of those lovely players here before you in the first round. Single elimination, by the way, not a double elim. One chance is all you have. That's it. That's all you got. Oh, smooch. So best of luck to everyone. Best of luck as we're getting into our first best of 3. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the Canadian Zerg player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have her opponents. We have the American Terran player representing Maturino Esports. It is Future. Let's go, man. Let's go. Future versus Scarlett. A bit of a quote-unquote team kill in a way, for those wondering. Future, Scarlett, Estrella, Zane, they are all living in Korea together. They're all living together in the quote-unquote Korean team house. So we're here on the Korean server as well. It is morning for the Americans, for the NA players. Feels good, man. Hopefully they are well rested diving into this, and yeah, this is going to be a little bit brutal. Again, a battle of the team house. The winner of this series moves on to face Estrella, Max Goddamn Angel, in the next round, and the winner of that moves on to face Trigger. So a bit of an NA gauntlet is before us. Hatch gas pool opener here from Scarlett, so everything's looking standard. Likewise, Future didn't go for the eBay block. Interesting. Future has been very fond of going for these really fast eBay blocks in this matchup, but no, he doesn't. Not this time. Interesting. He is mixing things up. He's going for a Rax Expand, but this is a Marine opener, not a Reaper. Okay, so he's more concerned with trying to night vision, trying to snipe the Overlord if possible as well. On a map like this, there is no like perf pillar nearby. This one here over at the natural base is one further back outside the natural as well. I believe the Marine should be able to hunt. We'll see. We'll see how the Marine does maneuver, how the Overlord does escape. As Future is on the hunt with that second Marine as well. I'm pretty sure he should be able to hunt this down. Scarlett is going to try to avoid that. We have a second Marine as well here on the right-hand side, and yeah, this is just going to make things so annoying here for Scarlett in the early game. She's forced to make an additional Overlord. This will delay the third base a little bit as well, as the Overlord is going to go down and will supply block Scarlett for a moment. Just a little bit of an annoyance here in the early game. Does disrupt the opener, but Scarlett did make a backup Overlord, so doesn't get supplyable for too long. Meanwhile, across the map, we do have our beginnings of our opener as well. It's not going to be a 2-on-1. It's going to be a factory after that initial Rax here for Future. Should be going for an add-on swap from here as well. The Lings, they do arrive, and they're going to try and punish the CC, but the SCV is going to be safe and sound. We do have 2 Marines here to help deal with these Lings, and they shouldn't get out of hand. Meanwhile, an aggressive opener here by Future. As the Lings up, they try to get us surrounded. They should be able to get one of these Marines, and they get into the main base as well. Scarlett is going to get a full scout. Not just a full scout, force a little bit of more lost mine time as well. Second Marine falls, the Lings do slip on in. She confirms the 1-1-1 opener. She's aware that, I mean, her opponent is going to be much more aggressive as well. Alien production on the way. No tech lab, so no add-on swap. Interesting. Are we going to go straight for a medevac? No, okay, we're going for a Liberator opener instead. Very interesting here. No Banshees coming out from Future. Instead, we're going to be harassing it with Hellions and Liberators. This is a little bit more old school. I haven't seen this opener in a while in this matchup, so I appreciate that we get to see it again. I do appreciate it. Back at home, Scarlett just joining on up, getting her third base saturated. Should be producing Lings here to make sure that the Hellions don't dive in, and then we got the Lings are being kept here in the main base. The Queens are on the front lines, looking to zone away those Hellions. Liberator is upon us. Behind this, we're going for a third TC, so we're not going for a 2-base all-in, which is important to point out. We have been casting a lot of Future recently, and he has been prone to go for 2-base all-ins if the opportunity presents itself. So even in this matchup, which is very unorthodox, but has been shown. This game is going for the third base. We do have the first Liberator moving out across some of the Hellions are looking for a dive. They have to be careful not to get baited in. The Queens are distracted, so the Queens are brought forward here towards the right-hand side. Liberator is slipping in towards the left. It's going to be laying siege upon that third base. Queens are looking a little bit busy here, but ooh, Scarlett does reaction time, does pull back. Drones are going to be preserved. Liberator is going to re-siege here and is actually going to be supported by these Hellions as well. Would you threaten to go into the mineral line once again? But no, this time Future doesn't commit. The Lings are in position, the Queens as well. Scarlett does minimize her losses. Doesn't really lose much of anything. Maybe an Overlord, if that. And back at home, Future is transitioning. Throwing down 2 more Vaxes. Going for Stim. 1-1. Everything's looking normal here. Meanwhile, oh my god! Lings, they do find us surrounded. Oh, hell. Future is going to be losing every single one of these Hellions. A rough loss here by Future. Just like that, he loses all map control. He can't really stop the creep spread. He can't really have too much of a presence on the map either. He can't use them for the follow-up push. So Scarlett taking full map control. And behind this, she can drone quite happily. She can drone, she can take more bases, she can spread her creep. Scarlett does have a lot of freedom after that initial catch. As the Liberator is going to be re-sieging here at the main base, and finally damage is going to be done. A couple of drones are going down, 2 drones in total, not too bad here from Future. Spores repositioning, likewise Liberator also must reposition, but a shout out to Ice-Scar in the chat. Fala galera. A massive shout out to Ice-Scar in the chat. Thank you so much for resubscribing for 16 months, over a year. Liberator should go down. Oh my god, is this, it survives? There's no Queen in the main. Liberator does somehow survive, does get away. The push is upon us, but thank you so much. 16 months is a lot of support. Gracias, papi, gracias. Obrigado, papi, obrigado. Liberator does somehow thread the needle, makes it out alive, and the push is here. This is going to be hitting with Stim, Combat Shield to +1 and +1 defense as well. A very strong timing here from Future, but he has to be careful with how he positions these tanks. There's a brutal position here, or spot to abuse on the right-hand side, off of creep. We'll see where he does maneuver here as... Yeah, we do see Scarlett going for a massive counterattack. Instead, there is a bunker back at home. Do we get a surround? Do we get a repair? Looks like the bunker up is barely gonna hold on. It's gonna be so close. No, it doesn't go down. 2 SCVs fall. Not too much economic damage done, but lost mine time, so much of it. Meanwhile, the front lines, Banelings are rolling in, but they are slow Banelings. The Banelings, they do go down. Future, he is gaining ground here. He's diving on top of the Queens, but the Lings, they come in from behind. The tanks, they get cleaned up. The Marines as well, they barely get a kill on that hatchery. And because of this push, Scarlett, she had to turn back around. Future goes back to mining here at his third base. Economically, Future is now looking pretty good. He's actually ahead because he was able to minimize his losses. That bunker bought so much time. Scarlett, though, thankfully she has a backup fourth base on the way. She's double expanding as we speak to catch up, to try to make up for that worker or that base deficit. And Scarlett is taking up into Hydras. So Lingbane Hydra. Lingbane Hydra is going to be the tech of choice, or the composition of choice for Scarlett. And work quite well here. But she needs time to recover to get these bases back up and running, to saturate them as well. We can see Scarlett, she's joining up to 82. High worker count, but she hasn't been mining from that worker count for too long. As Future's pushing out. And something that we have to commend Scarlett on, as we always do, is the creep spread. The creep is, oh my god, just engulfing the entire map. Future has to be very active here to slow it down, to try and bring it to an end. Queen's gonna try and reposition here. A lot of queens are going down at the same time. It looks like, oh my god, Banelings will connect. We do see that Future was a little bit distracted. He was sieging up his Liberator across the map. He got drone damage, don't get me wrong, but he lost his army. 6 drones went down, which was nice, and we're gonna get a couple more. Oh, gonna get one more here at the fourth base. But Future taking those Banelings to the face does mean that once again he has to give up map control. He has to back off, go back home. And Scarlett, she's going to be able to re-drone and re-spread all that creep. And now Scarlett is getting a little bit out of control. After that failed push, it's possible that Future may have to take a more defensive role here. I'm not looking forward to it, but like, it's definitely possible that he's lost too much momentum this game. We have a fourth base on the way. Liberators are sieging. Sensor towers are being thrown down. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another sensor tower here on the left-hand side as well. Yeah, the tanks are getting in position. There's that sensor tower and the missile turret. Future is turtling. And we can see that the creep is already about to encroach on his bases. But again, just because of how poorly some of these pushes did go, like he's resigned to go back home, to stay back at home as well. He has to muster up his forces. He has to catch up in army supply. And Scarlett, she's hit that critical mass of drones, 84 workers. That's all she needs. Now we can go into 2-2. We can head towards Hydra upgrades. We can head towards a Hive as well. That's something that we are lacking. Before that happens, Scarlett, she's coming in, going for a bit of multi-pronged harassment on both sides. Future, with a solid defense, does deflect both pushes. So far, so good. Oh, he's not looking! Ah! The Marines, they do go down. The bunker is going to get taken out as well, as Scarlett is busting into the mineral line. We do have a couple of reinforcements trickling on in. Future is going to be able to hold on. Once again, minimizes his losses. Really good reaction time there, pulling back those SCVs. But he did lose his sensor tower. He has to rebuild that. Otherwise, he won't have any forewarning about another attack. There we go. Another CC on the way. Could even be a planetary as well. Like, again, Future, he just has to hunker down. He just has to wall off. But before we can get that wall up and running, here we go. Scarlett, she dives in once again, gets us around. Oh! I'll pick up there by Future, but the tanks are falling. And this time, the mineral line is going to go down. SCVs will not be saved. Future comes in to respond, but alas, the tanks are caught on siege. The ghosts are coming out. We get a surround as well. And Scarlett is going to be able to shut down this army. Not just the third base, but also even the natural as well. Oh, Banelings are rolling on in. Even more SCVs are going to be going down. And there were some really good moments this game for Future, but things just snowballed too quickly out of control. See the creep basically covering every corner of the map. There's only a couple of bases that aren't really, that remain safe from the creep, from the corruption, but the damage has been done. Scarlett, she can remax, she can do that again. Future, he's barely holding onto his bases, let alone taking a 5th base, which is going to be such a tough ask here for Future. Here we go. No tanks are in position. We get a surround on the ghost. GG gets called, and Scarlett will take game number 1. GG. Yeah, a really solid performance out of Scarlett there. Future, he had some good moments. He had some good harassment as well with his Liberators, with his initial push, killing that hatchery. But after that, things very quickly snowballed out of control in favor of Scarlett. That is the nature of Royal Blood. The map is a little bit smaller, so if the momentum is kind of taken away from you, it can be difficult to bring it back. But as opposed to some of these other maps like Altitude or Gresfan or even Ancient Cistern as well. So, Future just in a really rough position there. Will be taking a loss in game 1, but he can bring it all back here in the next game. In game number 2. Holy creep set. Then Montiel in the chat. Yeah, it was pretty intense. It was pretty insane. The creep was crazy. It was crazy. But again, that's kind of the nature of Royal Blood. Now we're going to be going into a bit of a larger map. A map where it's going to take a little bit longer to actually get your creep out on the map. There are some better tank positionings and better like areas where you can push through the map on Gresfan. So I want to believe that that we do have the opportunity to force the ace match to tie up the series. I want to believe. Here we go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gresfan, we have the Canadian Zerg player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett. Oh, let's go. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, and also setting up a very interesting wall here on the low ground, we have the American Terran player representing Maturino Esports. It is Future. So this is the Future Special, and what I mean by that is this isn't the Beyond opener. I'm aware of, we've casted Beyond many times, we've seen plenty of variations of Beyond opener. This is not that. So Future is going for an eBay block. He's going to be forcing the unnatural natural. Future is setting up 2 Raxes on the low ground, but the difference is that I believe Future will not be making Reapers. That's the difference here. Beyond, he goes 2 Rax Reaper on the low ground. He makes 3 Reapers. He gets across the map. He's active. He trades and dances with the queens, and even delays the 3rd base. Future, I believe he's going to be working towards a bit of a different push and a bit of a different variation. We've seen a lot from Future on Gresfan, especially over the weekend, during the Africa Champions Cup qualifiers and during a lot of the weekly tournaments as well. This does feel like a very comfort zone push here, or build from Future, and this can lead into a 2-base all-in as well. But we'll see if any of what I'm saying. No, never mind. Okay. Whew. He's mixing it up. We are going for Reapers. This is the Beyond opener, but with an eBay block mixed in. Okay. So then with this, we should be making 3 Reapers. We should be working towards a follow-up as well. That's the kind of the danger here of the Beyond opener, is that we can go into a 3cc 2-on-1. We can go straight up 2-on-1. We can kind of go into a different variety of different things. We can go into a 4 Rax, 3 Rax. What is Future going to be going for? Also, this is something that I was expecting in game 1. More often than not, in this matchup, Future, he goes for an eBay block in ZvT. I really like it. It makes life really awkward for the Zerg player. No one else does this. It hasn't caught on, but like Future is the only Terran player that I've seen that does this consistently in this matchup. I appreciate it. Is that CC on the way for Future? He is only going to be making these 3 Reapers. So again, Beyond opener, just 3 Reapers, that's all you need. Then we are going into our transition, into our add-ons. And I'm curious if Future is going to be going for a 4-Axe behind this, or for something a little bit different. And it is going to be that 3rd barracks at least behind this. So he's going to be doubling down on the bio production. Dancing with the units here. Hopefully he gets a cancel in time. Up. Hopefully, as we're still a ways off. And there's that 4th Rax. So it's going to be a 4-Rax follow-up. with this is going to be an abundance of Marines available for Future. And this is going to hit like a truck. Especially considering that Scarlett's third base has been heavily delayed. Thankfully, that eBay was cancelled. It wasn't killed. Link speed kicks in, and Future needs to get the hell out of here. Oh, it looks like he already lost one of his Reapers. He's going the long way around. He should be able to avoid these Links for the time being. The wall is a wall. Oh, but the Reapers... Up! The Jukes! Reapers are going to make it back to safety, as there is a Reaper cliff here at the natural. And Scarlett is none the wiser. She hasn't been able to scout the follow-up yet. She has seen Marines on the low ground, but that is enough Marines to like constitute a 2-on-1. That doesn't really confirm that there are 4 Raxes. Marines are being kept back just to keep them hidden, just to keep them safe. And hopefully Scarlett doesn't drone. Hopefully she doesn't drone too much. To have a Baneling Nest on the way. A safety Baneling Nest at that. Be saturating our bases. Burning on up. Oh boy, and here we go. This push is going to be hitting with Stim. As a reminder, there is no Medivacs. There are no Medivacs with the 4-axe push. Which means every single Stim is brutal. Like, we only have like 1 or 2 Stims in this army. We have to be very careful with how and when we use them. Scarlett turned up to 47. We have plenty of Links on the way. Scarlett should be fine. And Future has to be careful here. I appreciate this. He's going to be going for the scan, going to be cleaning up a lot of this creep. He's going to threaten pushing up into that natural base or into the third. But upon seeing the army, Future should respect this and he should back off. Here we go. We have reinforcements on the way. Because there's no Baneling speed, Future is safe off of creep, or he's relatively safe off of creep. Oh, as Scarlett is going for a counterattack instead. Do we have much at home to defend? The wall is not a wall. Uh-oh. Lings, they do dive in. Depot is not raised in time. The Marines get surrounded. The boys are being pulled. Damage is being done, and Future, his hand is being forced. He has to commit. He has to go. But there are Banelings waiting for him. Pushing onto creep like this is not ideal, but he has to. How good is the target firing? How good can he control this? Takes the Baneling to the face. Lings are trickling on in. GG gets called, and Scarlett will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. GG, well played. Congratulations to Scarlett as she does take down her opponent. My condolences to Future. This qualifier is really rough. Best of 3s, no lower brackets. It is not double elimination, so really brutal position to be in. So my condolences to Future, but best of luck. Best of luck to Future in the future when it comes to qualifiers or how he's improving and all these online events as well. Scarlett was coming in as the favorite, and she's going to be facing off against another housemate. For those who don't know, Scarlett, Future, Estrella, they're all living together in the same house in Korea. And I just said his name. Scarlett is going to be advancing on to face off against Estrella in the next round. Let's go.